Oh boy.
What's
What's good?
cracking,
What's
people?
good? What's good? What's good, bro? What's happening?
What's that? KS Jazz. We was laughing about that
We
just
was a
now.
lot. Yeah, we was laughing about the title. I was like, as fast as I was trying to put everything together and pull all of this on point and be here, uh,
Mm-hmm.
getting everything out and all of that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. With Camden sitting here playing underneath the table, trying to keep him from splitting his head wide open on
Them kids,
everything.
man.
Bruh, it's it's a different
I
life
know.
over. It's a different life over here now.
Yeah,
So yeah,
no, it's pretty.
we'll go back and fix the title. We'll go back and fix the title. But what's going on, everybody? What's going on? How y'all doing out there? It is now fall. Hey man, the time has come. Turf, what's good on your end, bruh?
Everything. I got free babysitters.
Uh,
I'm about to retire.
I wish that I wish the second one too.
I got I got better access to my nephews and nieces, man. I mean, life is good, dog. I can't.
Yeah,
I got a beautiful house, beautiful yard. I mean, what else? What else
yeah.
could one ask for?
Hey man, you can't, man. A lot of times you just got to take it as it comes, and when the blessings come, hey man, you just roll with them. You just roll with them,
Yeah,
and all I can say is, I
yeah.
mean, you put your time in anyway. Like you definitely put your time in. I mean, now you're back. Now you're back home. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's what's up. So how everybody doing out there in the chat? I see we got some people out there in the chat. Tonight we are going to jump into talking fall lawn care. We're gonna cover a number of topics. Of course, we're gonna keep it laid back, kickback style. Not a whole lot of presentation type stuff today. We do have some photos and stuff that we're gonna walk through, some things that we've been experiencing. We'll get into some fertilization talk. We'll get into some mowing talk. Um, all things fall. That's what we're gonna do. This is a number of things that I wanted to put into videos that I wanted to record to get out, and the time just has not been allowed for me to do that. So I was like, you know what? We'll just go live, talk about all that stuff, and give it to you real time. You can pop any questions or anything that you got in the chat, and we can go from there. Any fall tips for South Carolina Bermuda grass? Should have done fed it by now for your last feeding. Get your pre-emergent down and wait for it to go dormant.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I'll be right there with you next year.
Yeah.
I'm here. And so, where you at in South Carolina, Eli? Uh, yeah, where you at in South Carolina? I'm just wondering how close or far you are from me. Um,
What's going on, Chuck? Talking about, is this live? Yeah, we live and in effect, bruh. We are live and in effect.
yeah, no.
Yeah, so
Um,
from a Bermuda grass standpoint, like my dad's in North Carolina. Y'all know we did the renovation on the iron cutter. So over a year old now. And at this point we already put the last feed on that. I think I did that around September.
mhm.
Put the last feeding on it, gave it a three. Did I do 3/4 or half a pound? I think I went with a half a pound of N on that last feeding, and also dropped the pre-emergent towards the middle end of September. So we already got our pre-emergent down. Already got that last feed in. So right now, Pops is just mowing till it stopped growing, and he has already said that it's really starting to slow down now. So he was really he's cutting once over. It's taking him over a week. He's not even cutting once a week right now to keep up with the growth. So yeah, it's slowing down. Does for the main thing for Bermuda grass, keeping it simple. That's really all you got to do. Get your fall pre-emergent down. Get your last feeding in, and just keep growing, keep mowing until it stop growing and go dormant.
Right, right, right. Eli, when you say, is it a good thing to cut the grass real low? Um, I'm hesitant to answer, right? Because if you weren't already cutting it low, the last thing you want to do rolling in the dormancy is scalp it. Because that's what it sounds like you might be up to. But if you're already maintaining your Bermuda at a low, like 1 inch or below, that's great. Bermuda likes that generally. The lower you can go and manage it properly, you'll be good to go. But what I don't want you to do is go and scalp it before you go into the fall. You don't want to do that.
No,
So I hope I
no.
got you situated there. Rob Jones, appreciate you. They say they love your content, Cam. They love your
Oh,
content, man.
appreciate it. Appreciate it. So if you love my content and you are new to the
Pittsburgh.
channel, new to the We Working team, this is you're looking at 2/3 of the We Working team right now. We might get a surprise guest from Polo if he shows up. And if you love my content, you love what I do. Wait till you start seeing the Turf 3K productions when it comes back into effect. So
Yeah. Since I
I will say my man is nice with the production. That's why we call him Turf 3K Productions.
I try I try my best. I finally put this office to well, no, that's not true. I put
you,
this desk together.
you pieced it together.
'Cause this office is still a mess. But now that I have this together, I can actually get in here and edit this weekend.
Yeah.
Because I got a video. It's sitting. It's in the chamber. It just needs to get chopped up real quick. It's not super complicated. It's still gonna look good. Well, a little, flash for you and whatnot. But
His
it's gonna be
little
dope.
he
I
talking
wonder if
little flat.
Rob.
He talking his little flash gonna be a whole lot of flash. I'm going if he's already saying it's gonna be a little flash, it's gonna be a whole lot of flash.
It's gonna be basic, man. It's gonna be basic, man. Rob, who you got for football, man? Who's your football team? I'm just curious. Since you're from Pittsburgh, I'm just
Oh,
curious. I'm trying to start something right
oh,
now.
you are trying to start something. You are trying to start something. That's
Daryl
exactly
Murray.
what.
Daryl Murray. Last feeding here in Chicago, Thanksgiving weekend. Okay.
I'm gonna say you might want to reconsider that, Daryl. That's a that's a little late for Chicago.
Yeah. What if he's in like Southern Chicago though? I don't.
I still think it's late.
How I was treating Chicago like it was a state. Nah, Chicago's a city. It is. I know it's cold there. It's been cold in Chicago at night since August, guaranteed. I learned real. I learned the hard way of why they call it the Windy City. It'd be that wind be kicking, man,
Yeah, yeah,
cutting through
yeah,
your soul. I promise
yeah,
you.
yeah. And it don't be playing around at all. At
He's a
all.
ball. Ravens,
Mm.
Ravens.
So you just as bad as me. I'm in I'm in Ravens country and I'm a Steelers fan. So Rob, I you don't have to unsubscribe. We can be cordial. We can be cordial here, but just know, come on at least 2 Sundays, typically 3 Sundays out of the year. We're not cordial.
We can't be friends. We can't be friends.
I'm honest.
Um,
Honestly, I'm not feeling Russell Russell Wilson. I mean, for what reasons? Does it is it you not feeling him because he's striking a little fear there, or are you afraid of what he could do? Um,
mm,
but yeah,
mm,
yeah, I'm okay with Russell's doing all right now. I like the play of Justin Fields. I like the combo that we've got right now, and I feel like I was even saying the week before Tomlin started Russell, I was like, I need to see what Russell looks like. Like, I need
yeah.
to see him on the field running the offense. I need to see that. And Tomlin was right on point. Like, he made the switch. And I think he was saying the same thing. And you can look at it in the interviews. And he was like, I need to know what this looks like before we get into divisional play and before we
Yeah.
get in that final stretch of I need to know who my QB1 is and I need to see both of them. That's why I
Yeah.
rock with Tomlin, man. Everybody get
Yeah.
Tomlin a hard time, but like I rock with Tomlin. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
rock with Tomlin.
Super. What up, man?
What's good, Super TA? Oh, so we're gonna jump back to some grass. Um, why I say that Thanksgiving last feed in Chicago is late. Um, so, and not even just in my opinion, but in the data and the research that has been done, and it shows that in those northern climates, I think this study was done in Wisconsin, I want to say. So the time frame may be slightly off because they're a little further north.
Mm,
But typically, by the time it gets to 1st of October, mid October, the
mm,
ET and the water uptake has now became so low. Like the ET has become so low,
mm.
which water is your number one driver of nitrogen intake up into the plant, especially if you're doing it in a granular application. It
Right.
basically almost slows to nothing at that
Right.
point because soil temps have dropped, the uptake of water has dropped. Like, so the plant is not taking up those nutrients that you're putting down. So the longer you wait, the later in the season you wait, those nutrients really don't do you any benefit. I'm in
Mm,
Maryland and I'm already done. Like, I'm done all my heavy granular applications. I'm done. I'll do my client. I'm actually doing my client lawns tomorrow, and I'm gonna be done. What you'll see me from now on that I will feed will be spoon feeding foliar applications that will go directly into the plant through foliar absorption, and that's all I'll be doing. And when I say spoon feed, I'm talking tenth of a pound. Is so I probably got maybe 2/10 that I'm gonna apply the rest of the season, 2/10, 3/10 of a pound, the remainder of the season. So I would recommend if you already have it, go ahead and get that furred out. There's no need to wait till Thanksgiving. If you got it, go ahead, get it out, get it watered in, so it can get into the plant and you don't waste your money.
yeah. I'm gonna be fertin for like another 2 months though. I'm gonna be
Yep.
going hard in the paint. I'm just
So
letting y'all
so
know.
and I think that's the benefit that we can talk about now, right? You're a lot farther. You're the furthest south that we've got in the We Working team right now. Like you're the
Yeah.
furthest one south. And now I think you are a not that you weren't a good contributor before, but now you bring a different dynamic to when all three of us are talking. We're gonna have cool season and warm season, and we'll be able to cover a broader spectrum instead of us all being kind of bunched together with similar climates. Like, you'll be able to talk a lot to the southern climate community that we've got.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even when I was in Germany, I mean the climate was so similar to Maryland. It was, I mean, yeah, I had my different challenges, dealing with the worm castings and whatnot. The sun pattern was quite different, but for the most part, the overall weather pattern, it was the same. It just stayed colder longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or got colder quicker, but then the temps were pretty much the same of what you were experiencing. So here's, very much different. Like my pop said, he said last year, they were riding around on motorcycles with short sleeves and shorts for Christmas. So, so, you know, we'll see if we are ever so lucky this year to roll around with some shorts and short sleeves. Because the longer that weather stays prime for me, the more I can get done
Yeah.
in the yard. Like
Yeah.
at this point where we're at, I'm waiting for the yard to finish coming in so I can start smoothing it out, so I can start top dressing it with that sand and really getting her butter smooth. So when I transition it over to Bermuda, we're ready to rock. We're ready to drop that Baroness LM56 on it. Because everybody got a Toro, everybody got a GM 1000,
Bringing a little
everybody
different, bringing a
has
different flavor, bringing some
everybody
different,
has an outlet.
bringing some different sauce to the game.
Everybody got a swordsman, you know. But no one's really seen a Baroness.
I've
Not on
never,
YouTube
I've, I've
as it.
never seen, I've never seen anybody have a Baroness,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
stateside,
I also got a
especially stateside.
yeah, right, stateside, right.
Yeah,
I also got a Rover 45 too. Yeah,
haven't
I got
seen one
the
of those stateside either.
yeah. That's an Australian mower.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we got some pretty cool stuff coming up, man. Pretty
yeah,
cool stuff coming. Northeast Maryland in the house. That's what's up.
yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. November 15th is the cutoff date here in Maryland. Yep, Alex, you are 100% correct.
Look at
Um, 100%. I appreciate you knowing that and looking forward to abiding by the regulations that we've got. So just a little bit for me, one of my achievements for this week. Today, I had my first Department of Agricultural inspection for my fertilization business. First time ever having to do an inspection. Shout out to my guy over there at the Department of Agriculture, coming through and checking my records, checking everything out, and making sure I was all good. Um, I was a little nervous. I'm gonna be honest with you because it's the first time I've ever done it, and I didn't really know what to expect or what I was walking into. I thought I had all the paperwork and everything that I needed, but you never know what you're gonna get asked and like how that whole inspection process is gonna go. But I passed with flying colors. Everything was in order. Um, Everything he asked for, I had it. Boom, boom, boom. Check the records. Asked for some explanations on why I was applying this and why I was applying that, and everything checked out to be within the laws and regulations. So that felt good to kind of go through that portion of it and be able to check all the boxes of yes, I'm doing everything within the regulations of what's laid out for us. So little little achievement for me here to end the week as the 9 to 5 has been a little stressful here lately.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
The piggyback on that, this is what the kid is up to. You
Yes,
know,
sir. We always
out
working
here
and we always working and learning. We working and
in
learning over here.
South Kakalaki. Can you see that one? Let me see. That's too high. There it is. Yeah,
Yeah, right
yeah,
there.
yeah. So we're working on our license out here for the new state. We're gonna have that ready by spring. Oh, the funniest book is this one. This one. It's in my book bag because that's the one I'm on right now. Let me grab it real quick. This one. I love the title of this one because there is a difference.
Applying them correctly.
I was like, boy, y'all got straight to it. So those are the three books that we gotta know for our test out here in South Carolina. And they said I've been talking to a lot of the pros out here that are already licensed, and they're like, yo, that test is no joke. They were like, it's not like a normal common sense test. It's like
Right. It
it's
ain't
got
like you just
it
walk
got
in and pass it.
scenarios. Yeah, nah, they were like they got scenarios playing out, and one thing they did recommend was they'll do these workshops, prep workshops out here.
Hmm.
They put those on there. It was like just go to a couple of those, and
Are
the
they
instructors.
considered as CEUs if you go to those?
Well, no, I mean it's not a CEU if it's prepping you for the test.
Okay.
So they have other CEU things that you can attend, but specifically they got the prep. It's like a course prep for you to go take the test. So you go in there and they're kind of like stomping on the ground, foot stomps and knocking on the board, kind of G2 and you telling you, hey, you want to pay attention here. This is going to be on the
Yeah.
test.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
they've got a couple of classes like that here also. especially from the fertilization side. They've got some of those. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what we're gonna work on. Other than getting this yard situated, spending plenty of time with family because I'm surrounded by family now, which is dope. Um, yeah, it should be a good time.
Yeah. Transition zone guy. What's happening, brother? What's going on there? Yes, we could use some rain. Yes, we need some rain, and
A
you
whole lot of
you can tell areas that are not getting watered. Um, any lawn that had a overseeding done, that they cut the water off like after that first 2 weeks, and it got up and it was looking good and it was green. That joint is crispy right now. Like crispy. My neighbor is a prime example. I was impressed with them. Like I've been trying to get them on board with watering right, fertilization, overseeding, and things like that. They decided to go with another company and not use the company that's right beside them. But hey, their choice to make. Um, and
rain.
they cut the water off, and it was looking good. Like their lawn was looking good. The overseed was looking really good. The company that did it, they slit seeded it, put it in. They did a good prep work job on what kind of seed they used or whatnot. It wouldn't have been the seed that I used because they kind of flung a little extra over on my side, and I can see it, and I can tell the difference. I was like, that is not my
Ain't mine.
seed. That is not my seed right there. um, but they stopped watering, and it went from looking good to crispy. Like
Yep,
it is crispy right now.
just
And
that
it's, and
fast.
and especially all of those new seedlings there that didn't have a really deep root system yet. Um, they're struggling. You could get some permanent loss from that. Like there's gonna be a portion of permanent loss that's not gonna be able to survive that. So my recommendation right now, especially, and I think my parents were up here too this past week, and they were talking about how dry it was back home in North Carolina. So it's not time to shut off the water, people. It is not time to shut off the water. I've seen people winterizing their irrigation 3 4 weeks ago, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why? And I think people are stuck on a schedule of when they should do it instead of what the weather pattern is saying when they should do it. Because we
Yeah.
are dry. It was 82 degrees here today.
Yep.
Yesterday, I
Same
think it
here.
was 80. I think it was 80, 81 yesterday. And we're talking temperatures like that with we're going on, I think this was last week. I think the last week was 22 days without water. So we're probably knocking 30 days without rain, and we're having 80-degree temperatures, and people are shutting off irrigation. Nah,
Wow. Yeah, it
not
was
at all.
84 here today.
Not at all.
84, 85.
Not at
Yeah.
all. I am my water and irrigation is still alive and well, and it is running.
There
I
you go,
have
right?
dialed it back slightly once I got enough moisture in the soil, because it's not evaporating as quickly once you get that moisture there. So I've dialed back some areas, and also on top of that, Turf. Let's talk sun pattern. So which is an interesting topic. This is one of the ones that I wanted to put into a video. But I don't know if people pay attention to how the sun pattern changes in the fall from what it is like through the rest of the season. So my
Yeah.
backyard, for example, um, the back half of it during majority of the season is pretty shaded, right? It gets pretty decent amount of shade. So typically I run those irrigation cycles less in that zone. But when the fall comes, It's the
Yeah, on
complete
Workin.
opposite. Like the
Yeah,
back section, I run the back section the longest and my front section the shortest because the sun pattern is now lower in the sky. So my house actually provides more shade to the front section of my backyard, and the back section of the backyard gets all day sun. Like
yeah,
literally all day. It's sun. Even with the leaves still on, even when the leaves were on the tree. Like it's
right.
now getting all day sun. So I've had to flip that irrigation cycle, and I'm now watering the back the longest instead of the front section of my backyard. Have you noticed anything, any of those? Well, your
Absolutely,
it's
100%.
probably
No, I
changed.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
when I
probably changed
moved
since
in,
you've been there. Yeah.
when I got there, when I got here in July, I, the thing that I noticed the most is how low the sun
Mm-hmm.
sits on the
Mm-hmm.
horizon based off where it was when I first got in here.
It was like it
Uh,
was higher. It was like almost more of a straight down,
exactly. But
almost like
now it's
a more of
like,
a straight down sunlight.
yeah, now it's like at an angle in a so my house is south facing, right? So I got a south facing home.
You get a
So
lot of sun in the
initially, when
front.
I was at noon, I would be looking straight up at noon.
Mm-hmm.
Now at noon, I'm like looking out and up, kind of like how I'm looking at my camera light right now. You know what I mean? Like that's where the sun sits now, where it used to be here. So I can see the shift there,
Mm-hmm.
which, just like you said, my back was getting so much more sunlight. Now it's not. I mean, it still gets enough sunlight to grow in this grass that I'm working on right now. But it's definitely a shift. And of course, with that, the days are shorter. Do we roll back this weekend?
Yes, Sunday.
Dang, these
Yeah,
kids gonna be up all.
Sunday. See, I haven't experienced this. Everybody has said something. Parents have said they was like, "Oh,
Oh,
like
help me, Jesus!
he is gonna be." I have never experienced this. This is gonna be my first
Oh,
roll back with a kid, but apparently it is. And judging by your reaction, it is as bad as what the other
I'm
parents
not.
have said.
I'm not looking forward to this. I'm not looking forward to this. We need to stop messing with the time, man.
We
Can
do.
we all
We need to stay on. And I told somebody that yesterday while they was
leave the
trick or
time
treating.
alone? Leave
Yes.
it alone, man.
Yes. Yes.
God dang.
Yes. Yes.
That messed me up just now because while I was talking about it, I was like, dang, I think we roll back. We fall back this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be yeah. It's whatever, I guess. But yeah, man, I definitely the sun pattern. Pay attention. No different from what he say just now, my man. Where is he at? He said Pete. Yeah, Rob Jones. Yeah, Pete. Pete, that's I do. Pete.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sorry we missed you at the GIE this year, man. I wish you could have
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pete says stop watching the calendar and watch the weather.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
along with
And
the weather, you're
yes.
watching your sun patterns as well. Just be attentive. Look at where the sun is this
Mm-hmm.
month, and then check out where it's at next month. It's going to be in a different location. I promise you. And you'll get used to those cyclical cycles. There's a couple apps that you can actually use. They can be a little confusing. Some people struggle understanding the arcs that it's showing in the
Me.
app.
I'm one of those
I
people.
wasn't gonna do that to you. See, I
I'll
wasn't gonna
put it
do.
out there. I'm one of those people.
So there's this app. It's called Sunseeker, right? I love this app. Sunseeker. You can use this app. That's what it looks like. You look it up in the App Store, whether you got Google Play or Apple Store. You get that, and you can stand in front of your yard, and you can kind of understand where you are cyclical in your rotation of your sun. And this is really important when you're talking about gardening as well, right? So,
Hmm.
I do a lot of gardening as well. So, placing my garden as when I watch the sun pattern, that's when I was like, okay, I'm putting my garden right here because now I know when I'm going to catch that morning sun and I know when I should just about be getting some afternoon shade for my garden.
Hmm.
So that sun pattern is right there when it comes to watching the weather and making sure that you don't cut off that watering too much. Really, what they need to do, you know, and really what needs to happen is we should have a controller that functions based off evapotranspiration.
ET. Yep.
That's what
Yep.
that's what needs to happen. Why?
Yep.
I mean, we're at a point where we should be able to take a little bit of AI, right? Put that into a
Gather
controller,
the data.
right? Gather the data,
The
put that
data's
in the
already out
controller,
there.
and you just water my lawn based off the ET.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even have to think about it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
just just
Because
just hit the button.
the ET data is out there. Like
Right.
there's enough of the apps and everything that's tracking all of that. So yeah, the
Yeah, and if
data
you're
is
not
there.
familiar with ET, evapotranspiration, it's pretty much the rate of which your soil and plants are losing moisture by
Hmm.
the day.
Yeah.
Whether it's wind, whether it's solar, whatever conditions it is taking that into account and is saying, okay, you lost, X amount of water, and then you need to replace, I think, somewhere between like 60 or 70% of whatever
60%.
it
Typically it's 60.
is you lost to maintain a healthy plant. Not only would we be doing wonders for the planet as far as, water conservation, but I mean, now we're actually maintaining plants at a level of agronomy that, agronomists could respect, because
Believe
one
it.
thing that's
Believe
triggering
it.
for me,
Believe in agronomy.
you believe in super triggering for me. I'm driving around, it's 10 o'clock, I see sprinklers on. I get triggered when I see it. And you know who's the number one culprit of them all almost every time? Hotels or pharmacies. Like, I don't know why their irrigations are always messed up, but I roll by Walgreens, CVS, their irrigation is 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, shoot, 2 o'clock in the afternoon sometimes. Their irrigation is running. I'm like, why is your
Running.
irrigation on?
So you
Like,
know if it's running. You know if it's running them times. You know it's running when it's raining.
oh my goodness. They ain't,
You know it's running
it's
when it's
never,
raining.
it never goes off.
It's on a set schedule. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
So I'm gonna jump up and I think we had a couple of questions that we didn't get to. Um, Greetings here from Charlotte. What's good? I think her
Up the
name is
street.
Great. Yeah, 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 yeah. Glad to see us back together. We glad to be back together.
Yeah.
What's your recommendation cutoff for excuse me, from in Charlotte, North Carolina?
All right.
Little closer to turf there. I know Charlotte. You still got time down there. Like cool season grass is still warm down there. You're probably looking more like that November, that Thanksgiving time is probably really where you're
Chicago
look.
guy. And that
Yeah,
depends, like, what kind of grass you growing too, because you know if you got
he's
that's
getting ready to put in some zoysia next year. I think he's putting in zoysia next year,
okay, but what
or
do you got in
maybe
now?
I think it's cool season.
Yeah, you depending on when you get your frost. When I would look to see when your average frost date is, your hard freeze or frost. No, hard freeze. Look for your hard freeze. Back it up 3 weeks, and then that's probably where you need to be at with your last feeding. That's what
Yep,
I would say.
yep,
Not your
yep.
frost, but your freeze. When you should be able to look on like weather. What is it called? Weather ground, underground weather, or something like that, and you'll
Weather
be able to pull
underground.
up weather underground. You go in weather underground, and you can pull up, what your average is, or you can go to like Greencast and pull it up there, or you could just type it in, like when's the average first freeze date for your zip code,
You
and
can
then whatever.
you can
Yeah,
Google. It's a quick Google search of
yeah.
location and everything else, and it'll come up. You'll be fine.
When should I stop? Oh, let me go back up here. I done
So
jumped.
Alex Garcia, I see your question here. How about I act like I know how to use this? It's been a while.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. We put it up on the screen. Yeah.
how about I act like I know how to how to do this?
Y'all bear with us. We're gonna get it together. We're gonna get it.
Alex Garcia, more on my fescue at 2 3/4. Should I go lower or stay at 2 3/4? During the growing season, you normally keep it at 3.5, 4 inches. If you're at 2 1/4 right now, I say keep it there. No need to go any lower. Um, at this point, they're just ride it out right there where you're at. Um, Anything different, Turf? You got an opinion?
Nah, I agree. Well, I think you should keep it at 2 and 7, 2 2 3/4 forever. Like, just come on over to the dark side,
Yeah.
man. Just
I don't
come
even
on.
call that the dark side. I call that the right side.
Well, yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, once you get to that like inch and a half mark, that's when things they switch up on you. I
Yeah.
don't think I'm ever going back. I'm just letting y'all know. I'm gonna
See,
be somewhere around 2 inches or below forever.
so now, all right, now that you said 2 inches, I can agree with you.
Yeah.
So everybody knows I was at a inch and a quarter in the backyard all this season. Um, I liked it. I did. I liked the look. I liked the feel. I liked everything about that, except for the difference in color and the difference in stripeability. And I would say, which I think this would improve over time once the lawn got used to being at that height of cut, was the consistency. So I could tell, especially during the summer, with the changes in weather patterns, when it gets hot, when it gets dry, when it gets wet, when it, like, the lawn fluctuated more at that lower height of cut. And it just caused me to have to be more alert and more attentive, like to the lawn at that lower height of cut. And it seemed like my era of margin was as low as the height of cut was. Like,
It is. Yeah.
if that analogy works, like that's
Nah, I know
it.
exactly where you're coming from.
That's the way that it felt. It felt that where when like I had a higher height of cut, if I saw something, I could give it a couple of days before I had to respond to go do something, whether it was add water to it, whether it was change a irrigation cycle, whether it was make an application. I could be a little more lax with my reaction. Whereas at the lower height of cut, when I saw something, you had like a day to respond, or things were gonna get out of hand real quick. So that's what I'll say about going to a lower height of cut. But I think 2 3/4 is a sweet spot. Like I kept my Mountain View seed at 3 inches. And I think the sweet spot for that is between 2.5 and 3. I think is the sweet spot. I think that 2 3/4, 2.5 is right where you should be. Boom, boom, boom. Did we
Uh,
miss any other? What's good, Jonelle? I see you popped in here.
yeah.
Um,
He's talking
did
about his overseeding.
did a oversee? I think he used that elevate. He used that Elm Street Elite. He put that Elm Street Elite
Mhm.
on there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like to see you was like you said it was on fire. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, man. I'm glad you're seeing the results that you're looking for, but yes, it's dry. It's dry, bro. Keep some water on it. It's a new. I think your neighbors was a full renovation. I think you did an overseed. So make sure you don't have to overwater the renovation, but make sure it's keeping the moisture that it needs. Because right now, man, we're dry.
Mhm. Absolutely. He said Chuck said it might be a lot of people messing around and finding out about dormant seeding this year more than ever.
Right.
Um, I I don't know, man. I got two kids, a wife, and a job that's 50 minutes away. I don't know what people are doing outside of this little circle. I'll be honest. I'll be, but that's
so
interesting. I wonder
so
why. What's the trend? What's up with that? You know something about that, Cam?
so I will say for me, one of my
Uh,
clients signed on late. I've been trying
mm,
to get it to grow in, and it is not happening. Like even
no.
with irrigation, even with the water, the weather patterns, like the when she signed on for me to go do it, the soil temps were like right at like that 55-degree mark. And
Mm,
I've seen some germination. There's some germination in there, but
mm,
it's not growing in. Like it's
mm.
at this point it is not growing in. These past couple of warm days hopefully will help it because we've been pretty warm here the past couple of days. Hopefully that'll help it out and kind of get it going. But I really think I'm either gonna do something similar to a dormant seed or a very early. I think this is gonna be my experiment to figure out doing spring seedings or when to do it or dormant seeds, something like that. Because
Yeah,
what I put down is not gonna suffice for next season.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm gonna have to figure that out. And I think probably what he's alluding to is as dry as it is right now. If people haven't been watering, that overseed is toast.
yeah.
it's it's it's
There we
toast.
go. All right, Tom. All right, Tom. Being here bragging, Tom. You know what? I hope they flip on you, Tom. I hope your kids flip on you and just start staying awake all night long. Tom, Tom G. No, I'm joking, man. That's what's up. I'm happy for you. I don't know what sleep like a baby means because my kids have not slept since they've been born. Okay. They've just been, I don't understand how they're growing because they don't eat. Well, no, my daughter, she eat. Let me take that back. She eat. My son, he just eat Cheerios. Somehow he has grown and developed a whole body based off Cheerios and almond milk. My daughter, she'll eat anything you put in front of her, and they don't sleep. But somehow they're healthy. They go to the doctor. Doctors say they healthy. I was like, you sure, doc? Because they don't need them but Cheerios, and they sleep for 3 hours a day. Yeah, they're fine. Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah, they fine.
No, all right, doc. I'm happy for you, Tom. I'm happy for you.
So, Spencer, right? I see you talking about your ratio changes water and length. Let me act like I know how to use this thing. Uh,
It's based on the season. Does it change your watering length or does it change the time? Because I think it's supposed to. It does seasonal shifts. I know
it
mine
does,
does
yeah,
seasonal shift.
yeah, and that's
So
what I was
for
gonna
when
say.
you have it set it up for the sunrise sunset, it will shift with the sunrise sunset, but it should still be
No,
watering as much as it needs to.
it changes length. It changes the length of your irrigation cycles.
Okay, so the way that I have mine set up is you're going to water all these things for this amount of time, and you
Mm-hmm.
need to be done watering by sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens, what I thought was happening, maybe I'm gonna pay attention a little bit closer, as the sun rising changes, it shifts when it starts raining, when it starts watering, and when it turns off to make sure that it's done by the time the sun rises. It's not going to start watering less. Like, why would it do that? I don't want you to water less. I just want you to be done by the time the sun rises.
Uh, So it may do that. I haven't paid attention to that part of it.
Okay.
So it may do that. But what I have paid attention to is when the seasonal shift happens, summer it waters longer. When you shift in the fall, it waters shorter.
Okay,
It
so
it it, cha- it
that's if you
changes.
have it set up on a smart cycle and it just does the watering for you, probably, maybe.
No. If
So
you
that
have it
doesn't
on
make
your seasonal shift, that's the feature in there. If you do it on seasonal shift, that's the feature that it changes like when the fall comes. Like if I go look at what it was putting down, like the length of my cycles before the fall came, they were longer.
I don't know
It
about
it
that. I
it will
think y'all.
go in, it will go in and change because I had to go back in and change them because I was like, I don't want you to water less. I know how much water I put down with these amount of minutes. So I had to go in and change that. So I think it may do both. I think it
Yeah,
may
yeah, you're right.
yeah, I had to manually go back in and be like, "No, I don't want you to water less. I want you to I want you to water for this amount of time." It does go in and change your length of water, which
Well, that's
I think is
stupid.
trying to account for ET.
Yeah, but that's not a smart way of doing it.
It's
Well,
not.
dang. Well, I'm glad you put that in there. Who said that?
Spencer Wright.
Spencer. Appreciate you, man. Because now I've been blindly thinking that it was shifting to adjust for the sunrise.
It
I didn't even look to see how long it was doing it. I just
yeah,
thought,
it
'cause to
changes
me, I
your
was like,
what
why would you change the amount of time that I've
yeah.
set up for you? I already told you how long I want you to water.
No,
I told you when I want you to be done watering.
it changes your water inlet. Yeah.
I'm writing Ratio emails when I find time, which means I'll write them in like 3 years because I ain't got no time. That is dumb, man.
Yeah.
That
So
is dumb.
I turned that feature off on mine.
Yeah, I'm turning it off because I thought that it was just keeping up with the seasonal shift of when the sun was rising and setting. Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. I
Yeah.
got it. Because when I had my drip on my garden, my drip came on in the evening. So
Okay.
when the sun set, drip would come on for the garden.
Okay.
Sunrise, and then for the lawn, all everything needed
It
to
was
be
only
done
be done by
watering
sunrise.
by sunrise.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you, Spencer. Appreciate
Yeah.
you. Turning that daggone feature off.
Yeah, turn that off. I turn it off because we set our we set our watering cycles and lengths by the amount of water that we want to put down.
Yeah.
So we know how much water we want to put down, whether each zone we want to put down a quarter inch, half inch, whatever the case may be. That's what we set our watering lengths for. So we don't really want to change that because we know exactly how much water we're putting down. The only thing we may want to change is how often we're running that. Like that's the way that we would control it from an ET standpoint without a controller that actually functions off of ET.
Yeah. Roldy Roldy Lewis, he says, I've got cool season grass and I live in Long Island, New York. When should I stop watering my grass? Um, it's been really dry across the nation, from what I understand. So, and this is something that I think Dr. Shaddix promotes. The best thing that you can use is your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, will it need less water these days as it gets cooler? Absolutely. But use your eyes and pay attention to the plant and see if your blades are folding up, starting to fold up on themselves, like they're getting dehydrated, like they're losing moisture. Just because it's cold doesn't mean that they don't need moisture. And then of course, once you get a couple frosts back to back up there in New York, Long Island, it's going dormant. And then at that point, it doesn't matter because
Yeah.
it's not pulling in moisture anyway.
Yep.
So I think the best thing I can't really tell you when to stop watering. You should stop watering when the plant is no longer actively growing.
Growing.
That's when you should
Yes.
stop watering.
Yes. Yes.
And how do you know when that's happening? Well, you have to pay attention to your lawn. How are you still cutting your grass? Are you cutting it once every 10 days now? Because if you're only cutting it once every 10 days, you know that it's slowed up. And then you cut it every 10 days, and then next thing you know, you're going 14, 15, 21 days. And now you're putting your last cut on, you know, correlating, hey, I could probably water less. So that's kind of how you get there. It's not like a set date that you can now you can pretty much guesstimate about when you're going to have to stop, when you can stop watering your lawn based off historical weather conditions and patterns.
Temperatures. Yeah.
But you need to pay attention to your lawn. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, Roldy, because I know that you're looking for like a straight hard stop answer, and it just that's not how this works, unfortunately. But that's the fun thing about it, right? Because if you're here, you're into grass. You're here, you're into grass, you like your grass, you want your grass to look great. Part of that is just being involved in the lawn care. That's where most homeowners go wrong
Mm-hmm.
themselves. Like they're not involved with the thing. They just accept that they just want the thing to look nice and they're not putting anything into it. Nothing happens like that in this world. You know what I mean? Unless you're paying somebody to pay attention to it for you. So, which if that's the case, you can hire me if you're out here in the South Carolina area, the PD County area. I'm gonna have my license here soon. Nah, I'm gonna be jobless in about 18 months too. So, but yeah, Roldy, I hope that was helpful. He said yes, it's helpful. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm cutting it every 10 days now. So that's your sign. That's your first sign that
Things are
you know,
slowing down. Things are,
things
yeah.
slowing down.
And
Slowing down.
and Rolly, I don't know if you heard our conversation earlier, but if it's dry, like now, it's not time to shut the water off. Um, uh, Grass is still looking green, but I don't need to cut as often. Yeah, like and the thing is keep an eye on it. It's still growing slowly right now. It's still growing. Cutting every 10 days, like it's starting to slow down. It's starting to go into that dormant phase. But you just want to make sure it stays hydrated into the dormancy. Because as Turf was saying earlier, and we were talking about it, it's dry. Like it's been dry across the nation. I'm not sure what your weather pattern's been up there, but you don't want your overseed, if you did it, to die. And now it's been a waste, and you're not gonna see the results come the spring. You want it to stay hydrated through it going into dormancy. Once it gets into dormancy, at that point, depending on where you are in New York, you probably gonna start getting snow and everything else, and you're gonna have enough moisture on the ground that you ain't gonna have to worry about watering anymore.
Boom, bam. OG
Um,
Sandy, OG
Eric,
son,
Eric Thompson got one for you.
Eric Thompson,
Yeah.
Eric Thompson. You guys give me a solution. Them daggone moles, Eric. Look, let
I,
me tell you.
I knew it was gonna fire you.
I Eric, between the moles and the squirrels, let me tell you something. The struggle has been real. But this is what you need to do. I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. This is what you need to do, Eric. This was my first time dealing with them on this level too. Like I got a lot of land. I went from like 1,000, 1,500 square feet, 2,000 square feet to 15,000 square feet of mobile space. You know what I mean? It's a zero point 0.7 acre lot that I'm on, but I only got like 15,000 square feet of mobile area, especially because of the big old pool in the backyard. Eric, go buy you some traps. Okay. Go to Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever big box store you fancy, baby, slide on Amazon. Doesn't matter. Get you some traps. Don't delay this. Get at least two.
At
Then
least
what you
two.
want to do
You
is
need a
get you
you
the
need
trick
a,
or treat candy.
you need at least two.
At least two. I got three.
Three would be, and that's what I was saying. Say
Yeah,
three.
I got
Three
three,
would.
but get
Yeah.
at least two. Then get you some trick or treat candy. Because what I found is I probably had a click out there. I think it was probably like 3 or 4 moles out there the way that they were tunneling. And what you're going to want to do for the trick or treat candy, look at your yard, right? Because you're going to see these corridors, right? You're going to see
Give them.
where
Give
they're
them a give.
intersecting.
Give them an explanation on the trick or treat candy, real quick.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
my
that.
bad. Yeah,
I know that's what we
it's the
call it. I
poison
know.
worm. It's the poison. It's the poison worm. He's confused right now. He's like trick or treat candy.
And
What?
Halloween
Just
just passed too. I was like, we should
my
probably
bad,
clarify.
Eric.
We should probably clarify that.
We call it, well, Polo he named it trick or treat candy. It's a trick though. It ain't a treat. The poison worms, right? Get those. They come 10 in a pack. So what I did was the corridors. Well, you'll see the tunnels, right? And then you'll see tunnels come up to one big mound in the yard. And that's where it's like a high intersection bypass way. So I would open that up, just take like I don't know, something a hanger or a stick and open it up and drop the trick or treat candy in those corridors that you find. And then where you think they're
trying to keep your hands out of the tunnel.
yeah, yeah, don't put your scent in there. Use the glove that comes
Yeah.
in the bag. And then, you get
Yeah.
the stick open, drop it in there, and just close it back up. Don't push it down. Just close it back up and leave it the way it is, right? Now, when it comes to the traps, you're going to want to identify the live active tunnels, and all the instructions are really on the box. You just got to read it and do it. But the easiest way to do it for me, what I did was I tried to find like the most fresh tunnels, and then I would
Hmm.
step on it, put it there, boom. But if I was unsure, I'd stomp everything out. Like when I got back from GIE, I couldn't tell what was what. So I had to stomp everything out, and then I would flag the locations that I think were points that, were active. And then I came back the next day and I'm like, okay, yeah, this tunnel is active. And then that's when you want to set your trap. Now, when you set your trap, Eric, don't mess with it. I know you're gonna be looking like, man, he done came right up to this trap and then turned around, and how's he getting around it?
Hmm.
Don't mess with it. As long as they're still using that thing, leave those traps in the ground, Eric. Put your trick or treat candy out, and you're gonna get them. You're gonna get them. It's gonna take a little while sometimes, but you're gonna get them. All right, Eric. I'm still working on the solution for the squirrels, though. Still working on the solution for the squirrels. We about to go by Walmart tomorrow, get us a red rider and thin out some population pest control.
A population control.
Right? That's what the book tells me. The book tells me once the damage is reaches what is it a unacceptable rate of damage, they are now considered a pest, and you are clear and well within your rights to reduce that footprint of those pests. And they fit the category of pests now by the law. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm well within my rights to lay them down. Go ahead and send them to the cornfield.
Yep. So I second everything Turf said. We had some background conversations while Turf was going through those issues. And that was my method also. I think the addition to that was Polo saying to add the trick or treat candy in there. And I see somebody who said trick or treat candy question mark question mark. It's the as Turf explained it, it's the poison worms that you can get. I was like, we should probably clarify. We should probably
I'm glad you called me because I was hyped. Like, look, the moles is fresh on my mind because we just won that battle. Now
Yeah.
we're working on a whole nother.
So Rob Jones say he's gonna check out the Mountain Views, check out the blend that we're carrying right now for next season. I appreciate that. Appreciate the support. So yeah, man, it's all good. We still do have the seed that's out there. If you're looking to check it out in next season, hey man, we'll still be producing it and still have it out there for you to go check it out. So um, I think Turf Janelle had a question for you there.
Yeah, man. The app. Well, so the app is in need of an update. Some people have the right phone where they can get it. Other people's scrolls and acorns, they're killing me. Yeah, so if you can search it and find it, then you can get it. It's still there. It's working. Uh, I
I use it every week. I still use it. I still use it.
So if you got it a while ago, no, you're still good. I think Apple is the only ones where like if you have a certain model, you can't get because I haven't pushed the update for them, and the way that this mortgage is set up right now, I'm looking for a grant to do the update, but it's still out there. I have not taken it down. If you can find it in the Apple or Google Play Store, you can get it. I know people are still buying it because I still get residuals off of it. So it's only $1. I think it's $1. I don't know. I still get a check for it. So people are buying it actively on Apple and Google. I just don't know because some people can't get it, some people can. I don't know where the rub is. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can go pick it up though.
Yeah. Go Android. You ain't got to worry about that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, daily DIY do turf therapy. I use that app in the regular. Yeah, that's my app.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my channel
I
turf
I
therapy.
use it. I use it weekly.
You under
Even though I know what
I double
application
check.
rate,
I
every
double check.
application rate that I'm gonna put down, I still
Double.
double check it like I don't know. Like, and it's literally habit. Like, it is habit. I
Yeah,
was like, all right, let me double check and make sure.
the number one request I get for that app as an update is give me a function to where it's two things. Allow me to input things that have nothing to do with NP or K, which I get you, but I didn't design the app for that. But I get you, right? So they want to be able to
Yeah.
put like biosimulants and stuff in there and just like put it in their put it in their journal. When I designed the app, it wasn't meant to do that. So apologies. I didn't have the foresight to account for that. And then the other thing is when it comes to liquid, people are trying to reverse the math on how much the label is telling them to put down
Mm. Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
going into it and telling it
Yeah.
what you want to do. So you want a reverse calculator to figure out how, if it's telling me to put down 8 ounces per thousand, then how much is that application? That's what people want the calculator to do, which I can do, but that calls for an update because all I gotta do is flip my formula that I made.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. But I didn't make the app for a person who wants to understand what the label is telling them to do. I made the app for the person who knows what they want to go down with, regardless of what the label says. So
So
just to give you a
so
little context on that.
so simple solution, and I do this sometimes too, is even with the way the app is currently set up. Like, cause I'll tell you exactly what I do. A lot of times I'm watching YouTube and I'm hearing somebody talk about a application that they're gonna make, and I will literally pause the the video, and
That's it.
I will pause the video and go pull up the app, and it was like, all right, this is a what analysis. Put the analysis in, and then the first piece of that is it asks for the desired N rate or whatever nutrient you want to base it off. Typically, it's N is the main driver. So I'll estimate what I think it is,
Yep.
and then once I estimate that, and I keep it on 1,000, and it'll ask you for um the square footage of your application, and I'll put it
Mm-hmm.
on 1,000 square foot because typically the bag rate is gonna be based off of 1,000 square foot. So it's just guesstimating that you're gonna or estimating it off of 1,000 square foot. That's gonna tell you how many pounds of that product, and typically that's what most of the direction that's going to be given to you from the tubes is going to be, hey, you need to put down X amount of pounds per 1,000 square foot.
Right.
So then if you're looking
Or
for the
ounces.
what's that?
Or ounces when we're
Yeah,
talking about
or
fluid.
ounces if you're
Right.
talking about a liquid. So from that point you can then be like, all right, my guesstimate is most of them are high. So typically I start at like a quarter pound or three
Right.
quarters of a pound is typically where I start at. And then you can be like, all right, if they said that I needed to put down
12.
4 pounds per 1,000 square foot, and is then you put it in the app, and the app says at three quarters of a pound of desired, you're either above or below that rate that they just gave you, and
Yeah.
then you can adjust the desired rate and then until you hit that number, and then you're like, boom. All right. So if they said put down 5 pounds per 1,000 square foot, at 5 pounds per 1,000 square foot, that's going to give me X amount of pounds per thousand of nitrogen. So that's a way to, you can reverse engineer it with the way that the app is currently set up.
Yeah. Yeah, appreciate that daily DIY dude. It's not perfect, but I'm a dude who doesn't code that figured out how when I made that app, there was nothing like it that existed.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
just be clear about it. There was you could go to websites. People had websites where you can
Hmm.
go and put your stuff into, but there was no like functional app that I can just because I wanted to be able to just be in my garage and pull it out. So I made this formula on the spreadsheet and I turned that into this weird like little app phone thing that I had access to. And I was like, why don't I just turn this into an app? So it was a whole long drawn out process. I poured all of my money into it and I don't take any of your information. I don't store your information. Your stuff is I'm not trying to sell you anything in it. And that was
It
it.
just
I
gives you
released
the
it.
raw number. It gives you the raw numbers of your applications, and you got a journal to where you can log what applications you did.
Yeah, and it's I would love to get in there and update it, but just it's not financially feasible right now. We're gonna get there though. Don't worry about it. It ain't going. We gonna get it to where I want. Can't find it on the Play Store, so yeah, that's it's probably your particular phone. I don't know. It needs an update. I know that it needs an update. Depending on which phone or version you got, you can find it or you can't find it. So somehow people are still finding it. I'll tell you that because I'm getting a check. So yeah,
So
uh,
people still buying it somehow.
somebody got it. Somehow, some way. I don't know. So yeah, but
Um,
just give me some time. I'll get it back rolling where it's supposed to be. The
cool,
website I was
cool.
using is not in service anymore, so I definitely be looking for that. I hope you can find it. I hope you can find it. If not, then it is what it is.
So
Yeah.
so Brian, man, I appreciate you for joining. Appreciate it. Glad you're
Yep.
enjoying the channel. Appreciate you for joining the chat here. Um, all right. So if you got any other questions or
Drop.
anything, we got 40 people in here. Drop them over here in the chat. Right now, we're gonna transition. We kind of talk fall fertilizer applications. We talk watering, what we're seeing right now. So we've covered those topics. Right now, we're going to transition into
Show and tell.
show and tell. That's exactly what we're going to transition into. So let me get things situated over here on my side, and we will pop up the show and tell, and see, let the people see what we got going on, and how things are operating right now. So boom,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this right here.
So Cam is reassuring me. Cam and Polo, they've been reassuring me that it's gonna be all right. Let me tell y'all, when I come home, every day when I come home, there is two families of Alvin's cousins in my daggone yard. It's a good eight of them out there. They're cousins, not the chipmunks, because the chipmunks, but they cousins, them squirrels, they hanging out, man.
Hey,
And
they
they
throwing.
just
They had a
just
cookout. They had a cookout in. They had a cookout in
they
Turtle
out
Law.
there, they're smoking acorns, they're rolling up oak leaves. They got a slab of appetizers covered on the mulch. Like they're just out there sunbathing. Life is good. And here's the thing, here's the kicker. My neighbor has a thick, full zoysia lawn. It's going dormant right now, but it looks good. You're gonna see it in these pictures, right? It looks good. But it's going dormant. Them jokers, they not in nobody yard but mine.
They can't get to the soil in that zoysia.
Yeah, you're right. That thing is thick.
They can't get to the
That's
soil.
that zoysia is thick.
They can't get to the soil. That's why they ain't over there. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
if they're looking to get into the ground and try to bury their nut, like they can dig far. They have far less work to do to get to the soil in your lawn than they do in that zoysia. Right?
No, we didn't, Bray. We didn't talk about fall rust, but if I
Yeah.
am, uh, I've never dealt with rust, but I remember reading on it, and
Yeah.
let me make sure.
Russ
Uh,
is one of those. Russ is one of those that one of those diseases that's annoying, but typically doesn't cause permanent damage. It is definitely one of those. What's up, Mama Palmer? I'm assuming that's Mama Palmer there. We appreciate that. Welcome back to
yeah,
the We Working team. We appreciate that for sure.
I'm assuming that's her too. That's either her or Malik.
Malik,
Uh,
either her or
I
Malik.
think it's her. I think it's her.
I think
I
it's
think it's
her. That's
yeah.
that's why I jumped to that assumption. I that
I think
crossed
it's
my mind also, but I was like, I think that's Mama.
yeah.
Um, so in my opinion, from Russ, one of the things is sunlight, shorter duration of sunlight, which is why it typically kind of comes from a fall um, aspect of it, and also nitrogen amount is another factor that comes into
That's fine.
rust.
Like
Um,
over fertilizing is what popped in my head for some reason. Is that what you're about to say?
uh,
Is it too much fertilizer or
I
not
think it's
enough?
I think it's not enough. I think it's not enough on the end standpoint. We need to double check that, but I think it's not enough.
I'm looking at
Is typically what causes is one. I'm not say causes one of the contributors to rust, and is also one of the solutions to rust. But I think a main driver of that is moisture and sunlight. As we get into the fall, you just have less sunlight, and typically you have more moisture during the fall, which is one of those things that are a heavy contributor to rust. Yeah, DIY, daily DIY. Do appreciate that. Not enough moisture, and that's what not enough in, and that's what I was thinking it
yep.
was too.
Low nitrogen levels,
Yeah,
dry conditions or infrequent watering,
yep,
excessive fat.
yep,
Those are your main three
yeah.
issues. Had to run it because I've never dealt with rust.
I had a
So
little
fertilizer popped in my head first. Like I
yeah.
didn't know why, and I didn't want to misspeak until I figured it out. But I got
Yeah,
it.
I had a little spurt of having because you know me, I try to run my lawn like
Got his lawn on the program over there. His lawn is on welfare over there. I'm telling you,
it is on
Lawn be
welfare.
giving can be giving out stipends on his lawn.
My during COVID, my lawn was looking for a stimulus check.
That's why you gotta pay them daggone water bills in Maryland. No joke, you paying like $12 for 1,000 gallons of water.
Boy, you posted your water bill for the amount of water you use. That that just would have broke the bank for me. I ain't gonna say
Yeah,
broke the
nah,
bank, but it would have been
it would have hurt. It would have
it
hurt.
would.
Not for me. We chilling over here down in South Kakalaki, baby. I
So
let the water
what I
run.
gotta tell y'all is I appreciate y'all for liking, subscribing, and watching the channel for me to pay for the water bill that I had to keep that backyard at an inch and a quarter this season to show y'all what it was gonna look like. Cause that's exactly where that's exactly where your funds went to. So please continue because all of that money is going to the water bill. That is exactly what happened.
I saw mine for the first time. So look, when I was seeding the lawn, I was like, you know what? Let me go see how much I'm paying per 1,000 gallons because Ratio gives you an estimate. It's not right because I don't have flow meters on my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm watching the numbers run up, and I'm like, yo,
This is a lot of water.
this is a lot of water. Even if it's halfway right, this is a lot of water. So let me go see how much I pay for water. Then I looked at it and I was like, oh, 4.5 dollars per 1,000 gallons. Oh, I'm good. This a quick balance. Like, yeah, we're
Bruh.
good. Let it run. Let it run.
Bruh.
Let it ride. Like, let it ride. You good in the day in the South America. You know what I
America.
mean? Boy, let that thing roll.
So
Yeah,
the
man.
funny thing about that is I realized how cheap water was in the South when we were doing the renovation on my pop's lawn. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking water bill, Maryland, 7,000 square feet that I'm keeping hydrated. Pops has got 20,000 square feet. And I'm like,
Yeah,
sheesh.
real.
Hey
He about
man,
to shut
Pop,
the whole project down
I
as soon
was
as he
like,
get this first.
Pop's about to get this water bill, boy, and it's gonna be over. He ain't gonna water nothing else.
He don't care what it look like. I'm not paying this kind of.
I
This a
am
mortgage
not.
payment, son.
I am not paying this. So literally on the day of sprigging, it was not a super hot day, but it was still June, the middle of June in North Carolina, eastern North Carolina. So it was 80 plus, 80 plus, 80, 85, sunny. So things are drying out. So when
Yeah.
you're dealing with sprigs, your key is moisture. You can't just throw them on the ground and let them go dry. We
Mm-mm.
literally ran the water all day long, all day and half the night. It never shut off. And we were watering zones as we put the sprigs down, over 20,000 square foot. The water literally probably ran for, I'd say, 20 hours probably straight. Never turned off. That was just a single day. And
that
then
was
we,
first. That was day
that
one.
was day one. and
And we
then we
proceeded to do
proceeded,
that for another 21
and
days.
then we proceeded the water something very similar to that for the next 30 days. He got his water bill, and I was like, "Yo, Pop, man, like what's your?" He was like, "Son, I got my water bill today, and I'm over here nervous." And the funny thing is my dad is actually on the water committee, like in his little area. So the chairman actually
He hit him up like, "Hey, you got a leak over there? What you gonna put a pool in?"
he actually hit my dad up and was like, "Well, he called my pops by his name. He was like, I'll call him pops. Hey, Pop, he was like, everything all right over there? I see you working on the yard, but is everything all right over there? You sure using a whole lot of water there, and like we just want to give you a heads up of how much water you using." He was like, "Yeah," he was like, I'm everything's all good over here. I ain't quite sure what the bill's gonna be, but it's yeah, everything is all right. I know what I'm. My son knows what he's doing. I ain't gonna say I know what I'm doing, but my son says this is what we need to do. And he was like, "Well, all right. I just wanted to give you the heads up. All of this, right? All of this water, all of this. The bill can end up being. I'm not gonna downplay like this amount of money, but with the amount of water that we used, the bill was like $300.
And y'all probably dropped like 40,000 gallons. You
Yeah,
filled up my pool twice.
like it
That's
was water was literally running for hours, like hours and hours and hours on end. And the bill was like 300 $300.
oh, they found it. They found the APK for it. There you go. There you go. 2.7. Android found it as APK. Yeah, go ahead and get it.
There we
That should
go.
be free. You got an APK. That should be free. Go ahead, snatch it up. I ain't even mad at you. Go get it. Do it. Oh, and it is Mama Palmer. You ready over there to do the show and tell? He
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
Alex Garcia. He said, Mark said, I'm scared to see my water bill. Mark, depending on where you live,
yeah.
he said hat tricks, fireball this year, and I'm not complaining at all. Okay. Yeah, he
Yeah,
don't want to see.
that's that new rye blend that's out there, hat trick fireball. Yeah. That's that
Who's it
new
from?
rye
Is that
Justin
a twin?
uh old buddy from Long Life.
Oh, okay. But who blends this? Who grows the seed?
I think it's is it Jacqueline? Do I want to say Jacqueline?
Okay.
Do I want to say
Yeah.
Jacqueline? I ain't 100% on that, but I think it's a
Yeah.
Jacqueline seed. I think
You said long life?
yeah.
Yeah, that's got some good color to it.
Jesse, not Justin. Jesse.
Jesse. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got Hey, oh, who was that? I just saw Shirley. Hey, Miss Shirley, how you doing? And
Is
sifting some soil and more.
what's good? What's good? How you going? How y'all ladies doing? Interesting thing about that, and then we're gonna jump into the show and tell. I think the grass fact. I think Ryan had a talk the other day um, about that seed, about those cultivars in particular. Um,
Fireball and Patrick.
yeah, yeah. So they are great for color, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what everybody is talking about them for, right? It's color.
Right. Yep.
But one of the biggest downfalls of them also is that's generally known also about ryegrass is the disease resistance.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there.
It's a poor performance.
Poor performance there.
I'm really interested to see whenever Mountain View Seed decides to tell us what they put in this perennial rye blend. We don't know what's in there, but the color came through. The color took a while for it to come through on yours.
Yeah.
I'd argue my front, the little post stamp, it's already
Yeah.
looking really good. The
So
colors
Turf,
looking
I don't even so I'm about to put up some pictures that you haven't even seen that are
okay.
like
Let's do that.
like today, like a couple of hours old.
Let's
And
do that.
oh boy.
Mhm.
Oh boy. Um
Oh my gosh, $556 for the month for water? No,
yeah.
absolutely not.
I had one
We're not.
I had one of them bills. Like
We're
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
So
So
that's what my AC bill looked like around like July, August. Because we was in this house all day. We didn't, you know what I mean? We weren't going to work, so the AC stayed on nonstop. So
yeah.
it didn't get to 556, but it got up there.
So
It got
so
up.
Michelle Hines, I actually want to make a video about this. Um
Oh, Twin City.
Twin
So it's a
Twins
Twin City.
no, Twin City is a distributor. So a
Uh,
lot of things like a lot of places where uh people buy seed from, Twin City,
mhm.
United Seed, um even me dealing with Newsom seed, these aren't producers. Like they don't grow seed. They are distributors. So Twin City buys the seed from a producer. So when I
And
talk
blends.
about producers, we're talking Mountain View Seed, Pratt Corp. Mountain View Seed is a producer. They actually subcontract, but they are the ones that grow the seed. They grow it, they produce it, then they sell it to Twin City. They sell it to United Seed. They sell it to whoever your local distributor could be. They could be buying that seed in bulk. And then they can actually blend that seed,
However they
individual
want.
cultivars, however they want. They can buy it by the truckload of these
Mhm.
individual cultivars and blend that into their own blend, which is why you can see that Twin City Seeds, you will not see, I'm not going to say guaranteed, but typically you will not see the actual producer or the grower of that seed anywhere on the bag. But if you look at the cultivars from the INTEP, you will be able to find out exactly who grows it.
Yeah.
Landmark, Landmark is one. Mountain View Seed is one. Jacqueline is one. Uh, Barenbrug, who has now bought Jacqueline, is one.
Oh,
The Yeah, these are producers and growers that actually grow the seed that then sell it to a lot of these distributors.
yeah.
So Twin City Seed is a distributor. They blend it. They buy the seed in truckloads and blend it up, put it in a bag, and they sell it and distribute it to the customer. So this is one of the things that I want to be able to explain in a video, that you can go to your local distributor. When I say, like, I love Mountain View Seed, I love Mountain View Seed, you may never see a Mountain View Seed label or name anywhere on the bag. But if you look at the tag and you know which cultivars are produced by Mountain View Seed, they could be sitting right there at your local turf supply, your local nursery, and be like, oh, this bag of seed right here is made with nothing but Mountain View Seed cultivars in it, because you know which seed Mountain View Seed actually produce. So that's a little bit of information there on seed production and distribution. All right.
And if you can't get over your anger, get help.
I was here it is. Here it is. The more you know.
The more you know. That's what you.
I was trying to time it perfectly. I messed it up. I tried. I tried.
The
Hey,
more you
if you
know.
don't know what that is, you too young for me.
Yeah.
We can't hang out. We too young. Woo! That go to front.
Yeah. So show and tell. We're gonna start off on my front, and then we'll jump over to turf.
Chris,
So
Chris, I'm right there with you, Chris. We're gonna be there. Just
thinking
follow
of
me.
changing.
Summer, we gonna I'm gonna help you decide, Chris. I'm gonna help you decide.
Yeah, that cultivar change is, pick the right grass type for the right location and the right desired amount of effort and input that you want to put into your lawn. Like, my philosophy has changed over the past couple of years, where I used to be, yeah, you can make it work. Yeah, you can make fescue. You can grow it anywhere. You can, but is it really worth the amount of effort and inputs that you're going to put into it when you can get a warm season grass that you can more so enjoy, and enjoy being in the lawn, enjoy the look of it, and have less hit to your pocket?
Yeah, you ain't fighting with your wife about it, or your husband, or your
Yes.
significant other, whatever it may be. You ain't fighting. You just
Yes.
happy.
Yes. Yes. When the house is happy, life is happy as a whole. I didn't say when
Mhm.
wife is happy, but when life is happy.
Right.
Because everybody got to be happy.
Right. We don't discriminate over here.
Yeah. So front yard banging.
Looking crispy.
We
It's
looking
looking crispy, dog.
we
Ooh.
looking good in the front.
Look
We
at them
looking
Persian shields. Them joints got huge this year. And
so
those coleus are
so
huge.
so these are like, I never meant for it to get. I've never had either one of these grow this big,
Them
which is
joints.
why I had so many in there. I could have went with half of what I put in there. Like, I have never. I read it on the tag and it was like, yeah, it's probably gonna be 24 inches.
Mark
Like,
said, He said your sidewalk's dirty.
the driveway too. Hey, anybody want to come take care of that for me? You are more than welcome.
Mark said, "Come." He said, "Go wash yourself."
Hey
Hey, he
man,
tried to be gentle about it, but he was like, "Yo, your sidewalk's dirty,
hey
bro."
man, I am more than welcome for anybody to come take care of all of
Mark, you
this
stupid.
and
Mark out there
all
dry snitching.
and all of that. Like I need somebody. Hey, Vince said the same thing, and I told Vince, I was like, "You can come record whatever video you want to record if you if you gonna come do it."
Come and clean it. Come and clean
I was like, Vince, please come take care of it. You can record all the content that you want.
it.
So yeah,
Back.
on the Persian shields, like it said it on the tag, and I was like, I've grown them for probably 2 years, and I have never had them grow over a foot in height and diameter. I was like, these jokers don't grow to be no 24 inches like that. Absurd.
That one looked like 3 feet right there.
Yeah, they are. They're like white. Like all of this is like waist high.
Yeah,
Like all of it. So
that's
I think,
great.
yeah, yeah. And the reason I haven't cut them because I want them to go to seed.
Yeah, I want them to go to seed too, so you can send them to me. So I ain't got to buy nothing extra. So those do better in the shade though,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah. And as you can say, they're slightly faded a little bit. They don't have
Yeah,
the
yeah,
they
they
don't
ain't got
have
that.
the vibrant. They don't have the vibrant color. Of course, they're coming to end the season,
Yeah.
also, but they don't have like the vibrant color that they typically have when. So my neighbor over this direction cut down a tree that was
Mm-hmm.
providing the shade in this area. So they
Mm-hmm.
started getting a lot more sun, and as we were talking about it, um, the vibrant color just wasn't. The new leaves would start out very vibrant, but then as the sun beat down on them, they'd start to lose some of the color. So yeah, they
Yeah.
they definitely do better in a moderately shaded area for the color. But I hope they go
Yeah.
to seed. That's why I want both of these plants to go to seed, but they don't seem to be going to seed.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep trying. I want something to put in between my palms.
Yeah. So boom, backyard. This what we looking
Pretty
like.
fast. I had to cut.
Right at 2 inches.
Okay.
2 inches. Two and a quarter is where it's at.
Well, that's good.
Yep. So
Real.
boom. That that's
That's
that's where we at. Um, this area right here, and you can tell the difference in water. I think
yeah,
so. I get more water here,
and it looks
and
better. I was about to
yeah,
say that side looks better.
yeah, yeah, and this is where it starts to kind of fade out. You can even see it from here as it kind of
Mm-hmm.
goes back. You can see it
Mm-hmm.
kind of fade out, and that's where I was explaining. Like my back now gets more sun, so as you flip over, you get more shade. You get a more of a shaded area here, and more water and moisture than what you're getting back in the back.
Right.
So, um, that's where we at here. Like backyard overall right now. And the crazy thing is I'm still seeing like seedlings in the lawn, like coming up. Like I'm still seeing seedlings down in the canopy, like single strand grass blades down in the canopy. And I was noticing it the other day while I was blowing it out. I was like, yo, man, it's still stuff coming up. And I seeded September second week in September, first week in September,
Oh wow.
just after Labor Day.
That must be some KBG. Slow
It's got to
creeping.
yeah, it's got to be that KBG, and that's what
Yeah.
it does. That's what it does. So transition into the test plot. So that was front yard, backyard. We rocking and rolling. This was earlier on. So the lateral spread, Mountain View C perennial ryegrass is what I replaced in the test plot. That's also what you're going to see in Turf's yard as he gets it up and going. But this is the new blend that is going to be coming to market with Mountain View Seed. They're working on distribution right now, but they are getting it out. And everything that it says here on the bag, you are about to see it in the future post and the future pictures here. Um, the color and the fine texture. This is
It's
probably
crazy.
one. This is probably one of the finest leaf blade cool season grasses I have ever grown. Like I haven't seen a cool season grass blade that is this fine in texture. So as you all know, I've never grown ryegrass before. This is all new to me. I'm continuing to learn, continuing to figure out how different cultivars and different grass types function. Uh, I am seeing definitely the density and the self repairing capability because I've had some pretty decent squirrel damage in these areas that have grown and filled in fairly quickly than what I would expect for a cool season lawn to do. So yeah, next one. Everything doesn't go well for me either. It's not.
Mm.
I'm subject to all the challenges that you all are. So I think this was 6 days. I think it was like 5 day 5 or 6 after I seeded. As you can see, I'm starting to get germination. Germination starts to come up, and we get a washout. Like I mean, dumping rain to the point that it was moving soil. And like it, people was like, "Cam, well, you should have put down. You should have put down
Peat moss.
peat moss. You should have put down peat moss. You should have
Wait.
had that. You guys, when the soil moves, I don't care what cover you have on it. If it's enough rain to move soil, it is going to move whatever you got on top of it, unless it's actually a mat. Unless it's a mat that you have stapled down or
Shoot.
that
I mean, even
you're
Ryan, he
holding.
had a mat one year. Ryan had stuff matted down one
Oh
year.
yeah.
And I remember it stormed so bad that it pushed the seed
Mm-hmm.
to the corner of the mat,
Underneath the mat. It was
underneath
enough.
the mat.
Yeah, it was enough moisture
Yeah.
or enough
So
water
like
moving
even with the
to
mat, you get
yeah.
enough rain and that's it. He had
And
a rough time that year. I
yeah.
remember that
and
day going
and
around.
like the thing is that it dumped. Like
Because that was during the hurricane.
it was before the
Hurricanes
hurricane.
was
It was no, it was
man.
before it was
The
before the
man was
hurricane.
coming in.
They were coming, but it was
Yeah,
before the hurricane. It was like maybe 5 or 6 days before the hurricane.
gotcha.
And it just dumped. Like it was probably 20, 30 minutes of it. Like if you had been driving, you couldn't have been able to see.
Yeah.
And I
Cause
knew
yeah,
what
you
was
made me eat my words because you was showing me the rain and I was like, yeah, you should be all right. And then you came back like an
yeah.
hour later and I was like, oh, I ain't
Yeah.
even say nothing. The second one, I was like, dang,
I
let me
was
just be
hurt.
because I know you feeling some type of way.
I was hurt. I didn't even show it to y'all until 2 days later.
I
Like
know,
the
and
next
nobody asked about it either. Nobody, we just left that alone. We knew where you were emotionally as
I
a
was
friend. We was just like, give him his space and let him work this out mentally. Because talking about it is going to make it worse. We just got to wait until he's ready to show us because that means he's accepted it and
yeah.
he's ready to move forward.
Yeah.
So yeah, we gave you your space, bro.
I
We gave
was
you your
I
space.
was hurt. And you can see like it's just waves of
Yeah, you can see the waves, the
yeah,
ripples.
yeah. You can see the waves of the ripples of where like water was just rushing down. So I'm not immune to that. And then in my video, I showed y'all how I fixed it. Boom, we come back.
Look at
We
that.
get it. We get everything fixed. I think
Don't
this
stick
was the
out.
day. This was the day of or the day after. I came in, did another overseed on it, worked that seed into the soil, and then you can kind of start to see where things are back in place and kind of starting to recover. Another area for what it looked like. I think this is probably 2 or 3 days after fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then at this point, you can see now I've also fertilized. So I went in after we got past all of that, got me some good fert on it. And now this is the density that you're seeing, which it looks pretty sparse, right? It's got a whole lot of gaps in there that need to fill in. And this was one of the main sections here of where you can kind of see where things are pretty thin. But then as we click through, no additional seed added after that overseed, after the washout. And one of the thinnest areas that you saw in that previous picture, which is right through here, boom,
Ah,
boom. This is where we were.
everything.
Gave it a couple weeks to grow in. Continued to mow it. Continued to feed it, and things start to fill in and start to look good. And
Oh,
again, the fine leaf blade is one of the things that I'm most impressed about with this.
go one picture back. I just remembered something. We ain't about to just breeze over this Hudson like that. But look, stay tuned because I'm probably gonna go back live Sunday evening. I'm gonna go live on my channel Sunday evening because I
Let's
got
do it.
something special for y'all
Let's
with
do
that
it.
Hudson. Um, it's the end of the season. If you're interested in the best manual push mower that you can buy on the market,
Quoted by Ryan Nord, the Cadillac of manual reel mowers.
period.
End quote.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that mower and you want to get the best deal that you've ever seen on that mower, check in with me this Sunday. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna let you know how you can get it, how that can happen. Oh, we forgot all about that. Dang. Okay.
I
Yeah.
thought about it late, but by the
The
time we
black
were
on
putting
black.
it,
That black on black look hard too, man. That
bruh,
joint.
woo,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Moving on.
with the red reel,
Ran
woo,
it real
that does is fire,
in
bruh.
that groove roller slim.
That just is fire.
Yeah, and I know many people have said, that's a really expensive mower. I wish you had one, $1,500 or less, something like that, $1,000 or less. Look, we're trying our best. We're working on it.
Stick
Don't
with us. Stick with
just
us.
stick with us. Just stick with us.
Stick
Give us
with
some
us.
time. Just give us some time. Team no P bonds. That's right. Ah,
Team no peat moss. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And I don't even think you seen this one, Terry.
woo! He
This is
put the diamonds in it.
this is
Look
today. This is a
at
couple of hours ago. Woo,
That's
bruh,
nice.
bruh,
That Hudson be laying them stripes, man.
bruh.
That looks good, man.
This
Look at your
rye.
neighbor with all that litter on. You know what? Someone asked that earlier too. It was we missed that question. I'm glad I just saw that. They were like,
Okay,
they said something about like
I think I know which
they were
one.
cutting
Like,
their grass, leaves were on the yard, they still had baby grass. Should they mulch it or should they bag it? And
okay,
my answer to you was is going to be this. If you're still here, and I'm sorry we missed it, and it just popped up in my head. If you have a gas mower, like a super recycler, that's really good at mulching, you can mulch it if you don't mind the litter that's going to
hmm
kind of be in the yard. If you have a battery operated mower, I would bag it.
hmm
Because me personally, I haven't came across a battery operated mower that's going to mulch it to the point where it won't be an inhibitor for that baby grass. If the grass was mature, you'd be fine. But I just went through this. I cut my grass for the first time a couple days ago and I mulched it. And there was so much litter in some areas that I knew that it was going to smother that baby grass out. So I had to come back behind it and blow it out. So just I would keep that in mind for anyone. Like, hey, I haven't really seen a battery, and that goes for the Toro recycler, the battery operated. She was like, great machine. You know, does great chopping up what you needed to chop it up. But when we're talking specifically about renovations and overseeds, I think you'd be better off bagging it because it's just that power, that torque is just not there.
Yep.
And that's my 2 cents on it. Cam, I'm sure you may have your own position on it, but
No,
that's
I agree with either bagging it or blowing it off. Like that's your other option. Um, is blowing it off. Being that you have seedlings already and you don't have like just seed sitting on the soil, as long as we're talking even then, like by the time like they get nestled down into the soil, I don't have a problem with going out and blowing it off. Not trying to
mm,
hold the blower right on the soil surface, but it's
just
enough to
kind of,
be able to get the leaves and stuff off of it. Honestly, that's my preference because I have a thing about leaf litter in the canopy of my lawn. I hate it. I don't want it. I understand that it can provide some amount of nutrients back into the soil. I don't care about that.
he don't care. Cam don't
I
care. He's like,
I
I can't do.
I despise having leaf litter in the canopy of my lawn. Personal preference. Everybody can make their own decisions. The nutrient value that you get from there is not equivalent to what I can put down in a single small fertilization app in a foliar feed.
He's not right.
Like this, it doesn't like it doesn't equate to it. So my preference would be blowing it off or bagging it, like Turf said. I do like returning the grass clippings back on top of the soil because now it kind of gives you a little bit of covering over that type of soil and over the top of the soil. So um, another
That's
reason
your
why
people.
that's my peat moss. Yes, my grass clippings are my peat moss. Um, so I like to blow it just because at that point, now that I have the leaf litter gone, I can now mulch back in my grass clippings to fall on top of the soil surface. That's the way that I do it
Yeah,
and
Tony
prefer to
said
do it.
he's looking forward to see how that test plot handle the summer months. Me too, Tony. Me
Yeah,
too. That's
yeah.
that's if
We
it
go,
makes it. It
we
might
go
not make
we gonna keep it there as long as we have an opportunity to keep it there.
it. There you go.
We're gonna keep it there as long as we have an opportunity to. Like there's some other things in the works. So like I said, I'm gonna keep it there as long as I can. Um, there's another close up of that black on black with that red reel on against that green.
With the groove roller. She's a bad girl, man. She's a
Man,
bad girl.
yeah. I I am happy with the Hudson. I am over happy with the Hudson.
Mm.
That's enough of me.
So this right here, I mean, this is the front yard. But I went live a couple times. This was day 15, first cut on the yard.
15
You
days
can see
in, first cut.
15 days in, first cut on the yard. I
Rotary
had this huge,
rotary cut, right?
yeah, rotary cut. I cut
Yeah.
it at 2 1/4 is where
Okay.
I cut it. And you can see a whole bunch of white down there at the bottom. That was me with the heavy hand on the that was a trim pass with the meso. So all that bleach white that you see, that's the meso trione getting that 21-day um effect when it comes to that pre-emergent. But that big huge ring y'all see around that oak tree, that was necessary because of the surface roots that were this yard. I probably pulled out, and you'll see it in the video that I'm editing. I probably hauled away about 400 to 500 pounds of surface roots out of this yard. The whole front yard used to be azaleas. It was a whole bunch of azaleas, huge azaleas. You could barely see the front yard, and it was this oak tree. Um, So rather than doing damage to that oak tree, because the oak tree is beautiful and the oak tree should have always been the center point of this home, what I did was I just went out 15 feet based off the diameter of that tree and where my water meter was, and I just ringed the whole thing. Now over to the right, there's still a bed over there. I'm gonna remove that and make all of it mowable surface. I'll probably do that in the spring just because I ain't no spring chicken anymore, and I need like that was a lot of work, man. I just I need to get done what I need to get done so I can
Mm-hmm.
make some progress during the fall. And the caution tape is there because literally, the day when I got done doing all that work, my pool boy came and walked straight across. He carted across the lawn. Like you could see that something was in construction mode. You can see that something was different. But the pool boy and the mailman walked straight across the yard on the bare ground. And I was like, okay, all right, well, I got to do something to keep these people off this grass because I don't want to hurt nobody. I'm a new person in this neighborhood. We shouldn't do that. So, but yeah,
They could be ready to kick you out the neighborhood.
you kick me out of the neighborhood. You gotta go. But yeah, that's a picture. What else we got?
Boom.
Yeah, it's a front view. And things are coming in at different speeds. And I mean, overall, I think it looks really good. That's that oak tree I was talking about. That's my thinnest spot right there. Put some more seed out. It's coming in good.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, we're 15 days in. This is 15 days past dropping seed, and it looks better than
Yeah.
this already because
Yeah.
that was 2-3 days ago.
Yeah. And
So
that
it's
and
already
the warmer temps that y'all have had too.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
dropped a
It's
little bit of fur on it
and I
too
dropped a little bit.
after
I
the
put a
cut.
quarter pound of urea on everything, which is probably kicking in right about now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about to
Um,
start kicking in.
yeah, so it's looking good. That's my neighbor Zoysia. That's a tire mark that appeared in the grass over there on the, on the corner left. But you can always, it's still the grass is growing and I ain't sweating it. But that's the zoysia to the right that's going dormant, and that's the color already. That piece right there is doing the
Mm-hmm.
best
Yeah.
right there. It is like really
That
performing. It looks really good. I mean, for it to be 15 days old, man.
yeah. Your color came in faster than mine. Your
Right.
your your color that like this 15 days in, my color didn't look like that. We can go back
Nah,
to the other pic. We
you
can
was
look
looking
back
hyper
at
green.
even in this picture.
Yeah.
Like this is pretty far in for me, and my color wasn't there for yours. So I think you gonna be all right, but I ain't gonna front though. That color right there though. That color that color right there though.
Yeah.
As we flip through these pictures.
Right. Right. That
Yeah.
right there, though, that's ahead of everything.
Yeah.
And I do, which is interesting because this is all about that sun pattern, right? Because of how the sun comes through. I only watered this piece one time a day. The whole
Yeah.
time it was getting for the first few days, it was getting 30 minutes one time a day in the morning with the Melnor sunrise timer. Now it only gets 5 minutes. And I do that every other day. I don't even do it every day. And because it gets that morning sun, it gets about 4 hours of straight morning sun. And then the rest of the day, it gets sun, but it's all filtered for the rest of the day. And I mean, and this came in better and quicker than all the other
Yeah.
pieces of the yard, one time a day.
Yeah.
So,
Again,
you
that
know,
that that sun pattern, like when you look at sun conditions and sun patterns and how things grow in, that's just one of the things. Uh, I can look at a lot of people that struggle with getting seed to germinate, getting seed to grow in, and things like that is based on like your sun, and I think the sun also plays a factor in how quickly it dries out, how much moisture it actually holds, being that you say that this area here you water it and then it goes into kind of dappled sunlight, kind of shaded, it just is able to hold that moisture there, which then reinforces the importance of having the right amount of moisture for seed germination and establishment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're in really good shape, man. My neighbors, they're already asking questions, bro. They're like,
Yeah,
"Hey, so
Turf gonna have the whole neighborhood lined up in front of his yard one day. He gonna try and bring the mower out, and everybody they gonna come together and was like, "So, Mr. Palmer, you have now entered the neighborhood, and now you
hey, I'm
have
on the
you have."
HOA. I'm on the board, baby. I'm on the board. I'm on the HOA board, and they put me in charge of landscaping. Imagine that.
They went, so Mr.
We're
Palmer,
getting along just fine. We're getting along just fine.
so
I
Mr.
told him
Palmer.
I'm
I
gonna be
don't think we
jobless.
I don't think we allowed you we expected you to come in here and 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 change the standard of what our lawns should look like within the first 45 days of you being a
We don't
resident in
appreciate.
the
We don't appreciate that. I'm here to
everybody
raise the standard. I'm raising the
everybody
standard.
now has a new standard of lawn care around here.
That's right. That's right. My neighbor's zoysia looks really good. It does. The people
Yeah.
that they got maintaining it,
You can tell it's
I can
well
do better than them.
established. You can tell it's
I
well
can,
established
it's
though.
well established, but I can do better than them.
Yeah.
I can do better than them. And I don't like no one's maintaining their irrigation properly either. I'm going to steal my neighbors. My neighbors are about to be my client. They're going to be my first client.
You just about to have the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's what
If I
that's
just
gonna
give them my street,
that's what that's gonna turn into. You ain't never even gonna have to put your equipment on a truck. You
I'm gonna just
drive,
ride it down the
you
block
just drive it. You just gonna
with a
drive
trailer
it
hooked up to the back of the zero turn. Yeah,
down.
we got a zero turn. By the way, I'm not gonna
You,
tell you what it is, but
you just
it'll be here next week.
you just go drive. You just go drive around the day. You just go drive around the neighborhood to do your maintenance. You gonna be like one of the little 13-year-old kids. Hey, you ain't even gonna have to put it on the truck. Just
Right,
drive through the
Andy.
neighborhood.
All the sea is as dry as we've been, and I said this in my live, Andy. My bad, Cam. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
But GCI turf type tall fescue, beautiful seed, beautiful blend. As dry as we've been across the nation, I said this in my last live or something. For some reason, I've been doing this for a while, but there's like 10 to 20% of the seed that doesn't germinate until you get real rain. Until you get rain, like it just doesn't come up. And then when you get rain 2 days later, boom, jumps out the ground.
Yeah.
So I keep that in mind. And as far as it being lighter, it just needs to mature.
Yeah.
It just needs to mature. No different from what, like, you see the color of this rye that's 15 days old. Give me another 15 days. You're not even gonna. It's gonna be even darker, bro.
So I mean, I can use this
like
this as an
right.
example right here, right? I mean, this I can't remember. This is probably 25-ish. It's probably 25-ish days in.
Cam was concerned. I'm gonna be like, we were both concerned. We're like, this is looking like Baron bug.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying. It was looking a lot like Baron bug. Baron bug gets established really quick. That's why golf courses like it, but they don't have that.
It doesn't have that
color.
That depth of
doesn't
color.
have that color. Great resistance, disease resistance comes in quick, hardy. Can take traffic. But the color is lacking.
And it typically stops right here.
Yep.
It typically stops right here. And this is what, to me, it may not even be this dark. Like this may be giving it a little bit. But it typically ends up like this limeish color green here. Not what I'm looking for. This is to me personally, especially with rye, this is not what I'm looking for. And I was concerned. Turf is 100% accurate. And I'm pretty sure they all could sense it in our chat. And I was like,
shoot, I was concerned too, because I was like, man, I might not.
I got a whole yard of this.
I might, I might pivot and slide on Ryan real quick. Be like, hey, Ryan,
But over time, like this is
she
like
matured.
now, and one of the changes that I did make was my mowing frequency. Is another thing that I did change, and I started mowing it more as it got more established and it got more mature. I started to get on it and start mowing it. Right now, like I mowed this, I probably mowed this double cut the past 3 days, like every day.
Hmm.
Hit it with a mow, and I'm actually taking grass blades off. Like I'm actually probably taking close to a quarter inch, probably a quarter inch off every day that I've mowed it the past 3 days. So
Yeah.
yeah, like it's the color has now come in as it started to mature again. Like when that even with that GCI seed, like it's gonna come in. It'll come in. It just hasn't matured. It'll come in a little lighter green. Give it time. Give it some time to mature. Get some. This is like a newborn, right? A newborn doesn't have all its characteristics and features on display when it's
You don't
first
even know what
born.
it looked like. Some of them
Yeah.
babies be looking like aliens. People talking about, oh, it's so cute. You're lying. That baby look crazy as a mug. You looking at it like, man,
I ain't say all that.
I
That
don't
was
know.
her fault.
I'm just, I'm just being honest, man. Y'all be lying sometimes. Don't be lying.
Yeah.
Them babies be coming out looking
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Right. Like
But then they mature.
it doesn't display all of its characteristics and features right out the bat. And I'll be honest, like it's not even going to display its full characteristics and maturity this fall. Like it's going to look different in the spring. Like to be
Mm,
honest with you, this like all of these new renovations and seatings and things like that aren't going to come into close to its potential. I say full potential is going to be the following year, like through all the next season and into the following year. But in the spring, it's going to display a lot more of the characteristics in the spring. Like it, this is not it. The fall is make sure you get it established, cut it, mow it, enjoy it, and it's going to look even better in the spring. And that's what I tell my clients. Like it's, you may think it looks good now, wait until the spring.
Raldy says, do you guys recommend overseeding in the spring after you've overseeded in the fall?
No.
And the first thing I would ask is like, why would you, unless it was a failed overseed
Yep. That's what I was going to say. Yep.
in the fall, I most definitely would not put more seed down in the spring because you know what you're going to end up dealing with when it comes to late spring, early summer?
Mm-hmm.
Fungus. Your lawn is going to get thinned out by the natural
Natural
effects of
selection.
natural select. It's going to get thinned out. It's going to be too crowded, man. It's going to be too crowded.
Yeah. Yeah. That there's no
Andy, I
reason.
said yes. Go for it, Andy. Just no more than a third at a time. Nashville, Tennessee. You said what you got turf type tall fescue, I think, or something like that. What do you have, Andy? Yeah. The GCI. Yeah, you got time. You're in Tennessee.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
time to bring it down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's at three and
What's
a quarter. He's thinking about bringing it down to 3 inches.
Oh yeah,
So
that's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
call all the babies ugly daily DIY,
Yeah.
dude. I'm just saying
Yeah.
all the babies not cute. Like people be saying, "Oh, your baby's so cute, it's pretty," and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not true. Some of these babies come out looking weird, and we just need to be honest about it. You know what I mean? Just say something like, "Oh, yay, congratulations!" Just say that.
Glad to have a happy, healthy baby. Something like
Yeah,
that.
just roll with that, man. 'Cause y'all got me out here having a lot of people. I don't like lying. Mm, but I feel like that's the standard that's been set.
Yeah.
Gotta lie.
I'm gonna scroll through a couple. I think we got a couple of these. What's
Yeah.
up, James the Lawn Junkie? Daily DIY dude talking about some iron cutter. Yeah, man, iron cutter is bomb. Like I've already dabbled in it. well, I did more than dabble in it. Being I did 20,000 square feet. Like I've seen it. Like I've seen it in action. Um, I'm gonna pop this one up here. What are your thoughts about reapplying FERTs, pre-emergent, etc. shortly after a reno and experiencing a washout? I waited 4 weeks for the follow-up FERT and 7 weeks to apply etho. Lots of slopes. I think you did the right thing. Like there's no reason to after you had a washout, I would not try to go back and make up for the things that I already put down. Just continue on with your program. Fix if you need to put some more seed down, whatever the case may be. Get some more seed down, and then continue with your program of fertilization.
Yeah,
Oh,
and when you say shortly after, I don't. First, when I read shortly after, I thought you meant like a couple days later. Cause you get dicey when you're doing stuff like that. But what you did, it may even be what the label told you to do. It seems like it probably was. When it comes to that ethofumicate, I'm interested.
yeah,
I'm
and
interested to why you applied ethofumicate though. I mean, wonder you must have like a POA annual ish.
probably trying to go after
Yeah,
that POA prevention.
cool.
Kind of scrolling through. I think we answered that one for Andy. Looked at that. Henry D say his GCI Turf Type Talk Fescue been hitting all year. That's good.
It's a good seed, man.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of it started off with that seed.
E- especially with his new blend. His new blend is all Mountain View seed.
Yeah, it's all Mountain View seed. But his original Cool Blue, that wasn't.
Yeah, it was
I'm
good.
pretty sure me, you, and Polo had
Hmm.
that seed in our lawns at some point.
Yeah, yeah. My front yard still got some of it in there. I had a client lawn that was fully renovated with it. That's looked real good for a number of years. They decided to back off of some of the maintenance on it, which then resulted in the decline of the turf. But not nothing against the seed. Is you back off of the maintenance. I mean, it's just what it is. To be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
We had one rain event. That water bill is killing me. Yeah, I I feel you. I feel you, Andy. Like that's it's tough out here when we don't get no rain, especially during overseeding time. Like that's a critical time that you need to have soil moisture, soil moisture in place. I think you already answered that one. We answered that one with the spring seeding.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Uh,
we
Andy's got another one,
okay.
and I'm
Oh,
going to say
which
no.
one?
I'm going to say no, Andy. And this is why. This is why I'm going to say no.
Which
I was
one
in
was it?
Germany for 3 years. This is the second to the last comment that was just made. He says, "Can
Oh,
you
okay.
get rid of POA by cutting low?" I was cutting my yard in Germany in between 3/10 to 6/10 of an inch. I don't really think you can get any lower. But the thing with Germany is all pre-emergents are illegal. So it was inevitable for POA to pop up at some point. Really, the only thing that you can do when you can't use a pre-emergent or a post-emergent to target it, because everything's illegal in Germany except prostitutes, which is weird, but it is what it is. Just random fact. You just got to catch your clippings, bruh. Because if you don't catch them, you're just spreading the seeds all over the yard. But it doesn't
Yeah.
matter because like there's some neighbor over there who has POA and doesn't care, and them seeds will end up in your lawn somehow. Or there's some bird that ate something somewhere and they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
poop and you're gonna end up with POA. That's just how Germany is. So Cutting it low is not going to get you there. Your best bet is at the fumicate, but really reading that label and understanding the timing and how many duplicate applications that need to, because it's not a one application and being done. You have to really read that label front to back and understand how you're going to actively make those applications. I think it's 3 applications back to back. Boom, boom, boom. And I think the best time to do it is it fall or spring? I know you can do it either or, but there's a
I
best
think it's
time to
fall.
do
I think
it.
it's fall.
And I think,
I
yeah, it's
think
fall.
fall is when you need to. You're supposed to hit it.
Yeah, the label calls for fall. You can
Yeah,
try it in spring, but the label calls for fall.
yeah. I think fall is the window for that one.
Yeah. Struggling with rain in the middle of Tennessee. Yeah, it sucks across the nation. We just
Yeah,
been.
we're dry. Like from a seeding, even Ryan Nor was talking about in his last video. He was just like, I like it's dry. Like we need rain. I hear it in Tennessee. Ryan's all the way out in Iowa, like all the way up here in Maryland. Like we're dealing with the same thing. Down south, North Carolina, dealing with the same thing. Like it's dry, especially from a cool season overseeding perspective. Like it's like we talked about it earlier on in the live. Anybody that's not watering right now, you can tell. You can tell who's watering and who's not. Like it is clear as day.
Mm-mm.
Talking about that ornamic. Yeah, I don't have any experience with that.
Nah, me neither. I mean, the only I don't know what kind of grass you have because you say your neighbor has common Bermuda, so that can be anywhere in the armpit of America or below it. Um,
I think he's in Tennessee.
oh yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, Tennessee.
He's in Tennessee
So and he has turf type tall
and
fescues. So
he's got fescue.
be able to use Pilex, right?
Pilex. Pilex.
Yeah, it's a bit pricey, but it's
Yeah.
I don't know about Ornamac, but I know about Pilex. And because you have fescue, I'm pretty sure you're safe to use Pilex and get rid of that Bermuda.
Yeah.
That's the route I would go. Pilex and triclopyr.
Triclopyr.
Yeah, that's what I would
Tric-
do. I would do a
Triclopyr.
combination of, but don't do it now because it's about to go dormant anyway.
Yeah.
I would wait until it wakes up next year and hit
I
it
don't
with the
know.
pilot.
I don't know. Tennessee.
Yeah, it might stay warm enough.
Tennessee, like right now, it still might be warm enough for that Bermuda to still be.
Actively growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it seems like it's still actively growing,
Yeah.
go for it. But Pilex, you're better off like maybe finding some neighbors or if you're in a chat, like if you're on Facebook and you're in a group, you find somebody that else that has a similar problem and you split the Pilex with them or something and do that. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Um,
Pilex is
Ilex
expensive.
and triclopyr is what I would hit it with, and either do it if you have enough time based off your trends for soil temperature and to encourage active growth from Bermuda. Do it now, or just wait until the spring, late spring, early summer, and go after it. Then smoke it out. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
3x, 3 apps of Pilex for 3 consecutive years. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pilex with triclopyr. It's
Yeah.
going,
Pilex with Triclopyr.
put it
Like that'll
because
probably
triclopyr is like your poor man's Pilex.
Pilex. Yeah.
Right?
When it comes to Bermuda.
When it comes to Bermuda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of other warm season grasses too. So that's what I put in. Like so my concoction of getting rid of my pop's lawn, which was some common, mostly centipede, was uh, triclopyr fusillade. Fusillade is another option. Uh, to be able to go, you got to make sure you hit your timing when it's cool enough for that cool season lawn if you're going to spray fusillade. So triclopyr fusillade and holy water was my elimination mixture with
Yeah,
MSO with MSO.
yeah, he just referenced that too. Um, yeah, JD Glex, that's most likely what your problem is. The iron, not so much, is what did it. It's if you have dark green spots in the lawn, it's either you're not making passes properly, or listen,
SGN.
I I use the Scott's spreader for a long time. And I'm here to give you my testimony. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to share my
Oh,
experience
this is
with
where this is going.
you. I got my hands on a spiker spreader and it changed my life. I can spread the other day I spread a quarter pound of 3400 at the quarter pound rate. So if you played with fertilizers enough, and I did it easily with the spiker, I would have never been able to do that with my Scott spreader, and I had the Scott's Deluxe spreader. So either it's most likely a SGN problem, maybe it's a really cheap fertilizer. Um, your passes are heavy in one side, or it's just the spreader itself, and it's probably the spreader. It might not be you. It might be the spreader, especially when because Scott's, especially when there's dew on the grass, they'll get stuck up in the wheels. That happened to
Mhm.
me a few times in Germany, where it had me out there looking like a rookie because I got these lines running through my yard, and it ain't because I
Just
did anything wrong. It's the daggone
out
synthetic.
with us. You wouldn't get to hang out with us
You get to hang out with us.
and
We have fun out
um so yeah,
there.
so
Yep, that's true. That's a good point. You could have those spots from dogs peeing in your yard.
yeah, and if it's like to where you're seeing those dark green spots as far as what you think may be granular fertilizer size or areas, and it's not like pea spot size areas, this is where to me like I get into a lot of these details in my own lawn, and I try to provide this information to the community, but sometimes it's a little deep. But SGN and prill size matters to me. Like that's one of the things that really matters to me. And the reason it matters is because exactly what you're saying, when you get that spotty type look, if you're dealing with a larger SGN or a larger prill size of the granule and you're trying to spread at those lower rates, you don't get as even distribution as you do with a smaller prill size or a smaller SGN. Now you get a more uniform distribution. You get a lot more prills over or granules of that fertilizer over the area that you're trying to fertilize. So to me, that's why prill size really matters in the fertilizer that I'm going to be using.
Yeah, and if you're trying to figure out what SGN stands for, what is it? It's the size guide number, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it
Yeah.
stands for. Size guide number. And when you see it, just to give you a quick lesson on it, 150 SGN size guide number. That means that the diameter of that prill is 1.5 millimeters. So if you see 200 SGN, that's 2 millimeters, and so on and so forth. We found that sweet spot is somewhere between 120 and 150. If you can find an
Yeah.
SGN somewhere between 120 and 150, that typically spreads really well in either residential or commercial spreaders. It just, it's a really good size that gives you a lot of room for forgiveness. 120 really being. I think 120, 130 is probably really where you want it, but I wouldn't go any higher than 150 if you could help it.
Daily DIY, dude. If you've overseen into an existing lawn, you'll have lighter spots until the ugly babies develop. That could be what you'll see.
I like you. You're a funny guy. I like you.
Yeah,
You're
man.
all right with me.
That's one of the homies down in VA. That's one of he's real close with Pete. One of Pete's
Okay.
homeboys down there too. So um
All right.
yeah, man, good dude. So I see y'all in here having some audio issues and everything. I meant to reset my router before we started this, and it seems that it's finally starting to catch up with us. Um, but but it seems that everything has been fine up until this point. You can always catch it on the replay. I'm pretty sure it'll have fixed its issues on the replay. Um,
Yeah,
but I think we've kind of been here for a little bit anyway, and
more than enough. And I got a,
we
date with Home Depot early in the morning.
yeah we gonna get ready to kind of get ready to wrap this thing up. I don't think we have anything.
That we
Uh,
didn't answer. I don't
yeah,
think so.
no,
Yeah.
I think we're good. Any final words from you, Turf, to the people? Anything you wanna let
Um.
anybody
Yeah.
know?
Sunday probably. Oh shoot! It's football on Sunday.
We gotta
Um.
buy this week.
Let's do. Well, it's football on Monday. Let me see something real quick. I'm going to do that Hudson. I'm gonna. I'm gonna. I'm gonna do something special for y'all, whomever's, and then we got election day. I know y'all ain't trying to look at. I'm gonna be plugged in, so I'm on my couch with some popcorn, watching it go down, baby. So look, I'm gonna make a post somewhere. Me and Ken will make a post somewhere around Tuesday about us going live real quick to just put out the information and give you the opportunity to because again, next week we got date night. So yeah, it's either probably going to be Wednesday or Thursday next week. We'll give you the information for probably the biggest discount you'll ever see on a Hudson mower. Because it's fall and we need to clean some inventory out anyway. So stay tuned, stay posted for that. My channel is Turf Therapy. I've been gone for a long time. I've been gone for 3 years in Germany. I'm an active duty service member. I'm in the Army. I have almost 19 years in. I will be retiring June 2026. Really happy about that. I take apart bombs for a living. That's EOD. That's my job. So we're almost done with that. We're wrapping it up. And now I have found passion in fertilizer that used to kill me or used to be used to try to kill me. And now I use it to make myself feel better. So that's like a short snap of who I am. If this is the first time you've ever seen me, part of the Workin team. And we're missing our other third, which is Polo. But he'll be in and out. You know, he works for the mob. Just let y'all know that he's got mob ties. So whatever the Don says, he's got to do. So tonight was one of those nights for him. Yeah.
Yeah. So Alex Garcia. So we understand like the audio and stuff might be cutting in and out for us here. So we kind of wrapping things up. Catch this last wrap up portion on the replay. You should get clear playback at that point. Um, Alex Garcia, how often are we live? Just a little plug for that. We used to do this a lot more frequently. We are working to get back to that. So kind of look forward to us. We're trying to get to at least once, maybe twice a month type cadence of us being able, especially here in the off season, uh, get back onto a cadence of us being able to produce you some live content. You can come in, jump in, and be able to ask your questions, get whatever information we've got. We'll be producing this throughout the off season. So look forward to us. We'll either be on, for the most part, either on my channel here on Elevated Lawnscapes or on Turf channel over at Turf Therapy. You can find them there. I actually have some other content creators and also um, professionals that are either in the squirt and fert or either uh, lawn maintenance side that I do plan to bring on and just do more live stream type content that I'm planning to do in the fall. Bring some new faces to the channel. Probably some people you've never seen or heard about from my aspect, and just kind of get their take on it, what they're doing, what they're seeing, what they're experiencing, what their background is like, and just kind of bring some new faces, some new energy to the channel, and just some new entertainment as a whole.
Yeah.
As you can kind of see, I when I do our lives, we're real laid back. We're real. Let's just sit back and kick it, have a good time, grab your cold beverage, whatever you like, beverage of choice, lemonade, Armour Palmer, like whatever it is, bourbon, IPA, Natty Light, PBR, whatever it is. Um, so we'll be bringing these to you more often and more frequently. So be on the lookout for it, and we look forward to y'all joining. Hopefully, we can get the full team here on the next couple. But as Turf said, Polo works for the mob. So
You work them up. I'm trying to tell
so
you.
hey, he might pop in here in and out, and might be on his phone driving around in the truck making
Yeah.
deliveries and pickups or something. So
You trying
um
to become made, man. You know. Hey.
so we appreciate it, y'all. Stick to the channel. I'll be producing content and stuff throughout the fall, not as frequently, but I still have some things that I want to get out, some good information that I want to get out. Stay tuned in to Turf because I know he's back now. Turf 3K Productions is about to get on and popping. And
Mm-hmm.
the first video up is how he got to what you just saw in the pictures and what we displayed here. So that's
Mm.
gonna be one for the books right there. So
You're gonna be
uh,
tired watching me do what I did. You're gonna get tired watching what I did.
hey,
Promise you. But
it takes some work. Turf has stepped up from like the 2,000 to 2,500 square foot lawns, and I was trying to tell him, I was like, look, there is a difference in what you are working with now versus what you used to be able to work through. You could muscle through 2,500 square foot using hand tools and everything else. Like you can muscle through 2,500 square feet. When you're talking 7,000 plus, I will say when you hit the 7,000 mark, even sometimes depending on what it is,
it gets
5,000. Yeah, it
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 gets
it 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 changes. Like hand tool, you need some additional assistance over hand tools. So watch this journey. Watch this journey, and we gonna keep this thing going.
all
So
right, Tony. Appreciate you,
all
man.
right, y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. We're gonna wrap it up and look for us when we make our next post and announcement on next time we going live. Hey, and as we always say, just know we
We were in
working. Yes, sir. We out of here. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all on the next one.